SGC here, and Star Trek Into Darkness. So, the second new Star Trek film is, out, and I'm gonna review it because I'm slow and like that. Directed by J.J. Abrams. We have this dude attacking Starfleet Command, and then James Kirk and company is sent after him, and they talk to him, and they get to know one another, and then they figure out this conspiracy, and then action, and action, and action, with lots of lens flare. So yeah, don't really need to introduce anybody except probably Benedict Cumberbatch. If you don't know, he's crazy because he's BBC's Sherlock, and he's pretty crazy according to lots of folks. So what I liked about this film, totally the whole world of Star Trek. Like, I'm not a Star Trek fan, though I really enjoyed the first film because it was sort of a reintroduction to the whole Star Trek thing. And I'm like, dude, I don't know anything about it, and I watched it and enjoyed it. And that was the sort of like premise that I went into this film with. I was like, another Star Trek, cool world, we'll enjoy it. And I have to say, I did enjoy the world and everything. Like, Starfleet, man, and all these ships flying around, and all these, like, phasers set to stun. Like, whoa, Star Trek. I am feeling Star Trek-y, especially with all those red shirts around. So, like I said, I really enjoyed the whole world building in the sense in the beginning of the film, where the first 10 minutes when they're at this volcano, not 10 minutes, probably longer than that, but they were at this volcano, and then they were like, oh, we can't do anything with this, like, species that doesn't know anything, and we can't show them anything, and then bam, things happen, and happen, and happen, and that is pretty much what I assumed Star Trek was all about, as in they go off into the far reaches of space to, study and consult, and I don't know what they do, actually. And then you have the guy that blows up Starfleet. And I have to say, there's a lot of action in this film, and I enjoyed it. It's a lot more memorable, maybe, that this dude that Cumberbatch plays is so, like, whoa. His delivery is very... I can't even imitate it. I won't. Yeah, action. Like, sure, there was a lot of action in Star Trek, but I felt it was like a voyage shooting things and another ship shooting things. That's the one thing I remember the most about the first Star Trek. But this one, I remember a lot of, like, gunplay and a lot of, like, hand-to-hand combat and just a lot of yelling. Maybe there wasn't a lot of yelling. I like how they introduced, like, not introduced, but, like, sort of, like, meld audiences back into the whole, like, James Kirk and Spock guy thing. Like, it just felt well. Like, it doesn't feel like you have to reintroduce these characters as in, like, oh, we have the new phase, they have to be, like, dark and stuff, or nothing like that. There's just, like, new mission, new role. And then they even gets into, like, the Spock and Uhura's relationship, and it was, like, interesting. Like, who can actually stand Spock? And it was just, like, interesting to see Spock trying to, like, balance his, like, human side, his Vulcan side, and it was, like, pretty cool. Like, I mean, this guy is half-half, and he's, like, trying to accept both parts, the good of both sides. So what I didn't like, I really enjoyed the first Star Trek where it had this whole crew mentality, and I felt that everyone had its sort of, like, moments, and I got to know all, like, the crew, like, with the essential crew anyway. But this time around, I just felt they were there, but that's it. They were there. They played their roles, but there was no story that actually involved them beside them being on the ship. But I guess that's sort of like a must when your focus is on, like, Kirk, Spock, Uhura, and Cumberbatch. Like, these guys are the biggest players in this entire film, and it felt like the entire film revolved around them and their interactions and their thinking process and everything. But I just felt like I wanted to know more people. Like, Star Trek isn't just about this James Kirk guy or Spock. I just felt like, you can call me retarded or crazy or whatever if you're a Star Trek fan and I'm supposed to care about only James Kirk. But anyway, I just felt like I wanted to know more about interactions between the other people, and it just felt like they didn't have a lot of, like, that many crazy memorable scenes. I don't know, the team aspect was sort of there, but not as much as I wanted. Maybe I'm just complaining for the sake of complaining, but I would have enjoyed more, team effort thing. I also didn't really enjoy the whole Spock-Uhura relationship thing. It just felt like, I don't know, like, Uhura, you're dating Spock. You know what you're gonna get yourself into, but yet you're fighting these things, and I don't know. I don't know how did they have improved it to make me like it, but yeah, it was sort of like, kind of like, oh, man, this is getting old sort of thing, stop complaining, just, like, live with it, or move on sort of thing, but I don't know. So yeah, action scenes were enjoyable, relationships were, like, I guess meld into the world. I really enjoyed the whole, like, set pieces back on Earth where they were, like, fighting and stuff. But then at the same time, I just felt that this Star Trek film didn't really feel Star Trek, except for maybe them blinking across to, like, you know, that alien world. And then, you know, finding Cumberbatch and then blinking back to Earth. And then that was it. Like, I guess this is safe for, like, you know, the third film where they actually go out. I mean, that's how the film ends anyway, spoiler. But, they go out and they, you know, reach the stars sort of thing. And I guess I would enjoy that more. Like, seeing more alien races. Like, I am wanting more alien races. For me, Star Trek is just about aliens. Like, that's Star Trek aliens. So I want more alien races. So maybe, hopefully, third time around, that'll be a good thing. Then, though, there is this one thing that I do worry about, as in how J.J. Abrams is now the director of Episode 7 of Star Wars. I'm just hoping, really hoping, that he doesn't go lens flare crazy on Episode 7, and that it's not too similar to what happened in Star Trek Into Darkness. Hopefully he'll wrap up the whole, like, alien thing, but that's pretty much about Star Wars Episode 7, so let's not talk about that anymore. But anyway, that is all for this movie review. It was enjoyable and action set pieces and world building sort of, and relational was sort of I wish there was more team aspect. And that's all. Star Trek Into Darkness movie review. See ya.